Howdy-o, folks. The Pajama Pants Player, the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass, here with you live in living color here on this Sunday afternoon. I just tried to record this the first time live, and I honestly didn't really like my review. I felt like I was scrambling all over the place. So I figured whatever, I'll do a take two. I'm too lazy to grab the old camera out and then render and then upload and wait 2 hours for that shit. Like I'm not in the mood, man. Just not feeling that today. So I figured I'd just give this a round two. I am here to talk to you today about just one movie. This is not a graveyard episode. Don't worry, it's nothing like that. This is going to be a quick one. I'm going to try not to spoil anything here. I make no promises, but I'm going to do my best not to spoil anything. The film I want to talk to you guys here about today is a film I just saw in the theater, Sunday matinee, if you will. And the film is The Lodge from 2020, and it is directed by Severin Fiala and Veronica Franz. I'm sorry if I butchered either one of your names. I really am. I gotta say, these two do a really good job. They actually are the two that directed Goodnight Mommy, which came out a few years back, and I really, really enjoyed that one. But I gotta say, these two have really taken a big step up in the community, in the genre, and in my mind personally, because I thought they directed a really, really good film here with The Lodge. I've read a lot of negative reviews about this film. We'll get into that. We'll get into my problems with how people could possibly say this is a bad film, which blows my goddamn mind. But I want to get a little bit into the film first. I'm going to go old school and actually read a plot synopsis, which is something I haven't done on the show in pretty much over a year. So I will. This is the IMDb plot summaries or synopsis, if you will. So a soon-to-be stepmom is snowed in with her fiance's two children at a remote holiday village. Just as relations begin to thaw between the trio, some strange and frightening events take place. Hell yeah, ladies and gentlemen. That is an awesome plot. And I got to tell you, this is an awesome movie. This is a really, really, really good horror film. And I got to say, we're starting the year off right. And I know that there's been a lot of bad horror movies this year already, but I have had the luxury to skip them all. I don't have any interest in seeing those films. The one I picked today was absolute diamond in the rough and a hidden gem at that. I absolutely love this flick. It actually has some really, really good actors in it too, especially Riley Keough. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She gives such a great performance in this film, man. I really, really love Riley Keough in this film. I thought she was really good as the lead. And I love the two kids that she's interacting with do a really good job. One of them is Jaden Martell, who was also in the It remake, and Leah McHugh, who plays the character of Mia. And it's basically most of the film is the three of them in this lodge. And like the plot synopsis says, it takes them a while to kind of warm up to each other. And just as they're starting to, shit hits the fan around them. And it really makes us as the viewer question who we should side with. Should we side with Riley Keough? Should we side with the kids? And I really like that it challenges us as a viewer to really kind of figure out who we're with, who we're against, stuff like that. And I got to say, the directors do a great job at creating an atmosphere, a tension. Claustrophobia is definitely the most important thing with these directors are able to create, with a lot of close-ups, a lot of really close-ups and uncomfortable ones at that on the actors' faces. And I think it's really cool that instead of using a blue tint, which is what a lot of films like this use, The Thing, Madman, Halloween, movies like they use that classic blue tint to create that cold aesthetic. This movie actually doesn't go for a cold aesthetic as much as it goes for more of a red tint. And you almost, I personally, I felt claustrophobic, uncomfortable, and the red tint that this movie has behind it did a lot of that for me. I was absolutely mesmerized and kind of terrified in the theater watching this one just now. Um, I think the thing that I really enjoyed about this flick most of all was the fact that it really was unpredictable, and I thought it had a great pace to it as well, man. Like it's one of those movies, it's an hour and I believe hour 48 minutes. For a movie that's an hour 48 minutes long, man, this movie flew by for me. And like, I thought each aspect and element that they tackled in the film was really, really smart. Again, I can't go too far into spoilers. I'd love to spoil or talk about the ending because I know a lot of people are going to be pissed about the ending. I'm excited to see what people's reactions are to this ending. But in the theater I was in, everybody was walking out going, that sucked, stupidest ending ever. You know, like a lot of people were bitching, moaning, and groaning, and all that good stuff. And I personally, I didn't get up, man. I sat there, and I was the last one out of the theater, and I was in absolute awe. And I was just like, it's moments like this as to why I love the genre is the way this movie ends. I know a lot of people already, you know, I've looked online. I was at an actual theater where people absolutely, I could just tell from the mugs on their faces, man, that they didn't like the film. And that's all well and good. You know, if you didn't like the film, that's all well and good. You didn't like the ending, whatever. I don't know, man. I freaking love this movie though. I had a really good time with it, and the minute it ended, it was one of those moments I got just like back when I was talking about the on the Lucky McKee episode when I was talking about May. It's one of those movies that I stopped to myself and I said, "That's why I love this genre." I'd love to get into spoiler talk about it, but until you see the film, which I know a lot of people haven't, so I'm not going to spoil anything here. I'm going to wait a little while. Maybe I'll wait till the Blu-ray release and I'll do a spoiler-filled review. But I don't know. I just wanted to get this video out there and tell people to go see The Lodge if you can go see it. I know I drove a stupid long way to go see it. I drove like 20, 25 miles to go see this movie. It's the only movie. It's the only theater around me within like a 50-mile radius that was playing the film. So I decided, you know what, Sunday matinee, baby, I'm gonna take a ride out, go see The Lodge, man. And I was thoroughly surprised, man, because this movie had it all. It had a really, really good tension, really, really good direction, really good acting, especially from Riley Keough. I cannot stress that enough. I think she gives one of the best horror film performances I have seen in a very long time in this film. I thought that both kids were really, really good in this, and I thought as well as it was paced, I just thought that this movie overall was able to terrify me in ways that I wanted to be terrified, and it took different directions maybe towards the end that I wasn't expecting. But with that said, I think what they did and the direction they go in, I thought they executed it to perfection, man. I really, really, really enjoyed this film. I'm going to come in at a 10 out of 10. I threw this up on my Instagram story and people were like, holy shit. You know, I've gotten a few messages already. I see Ryan and Master of Fear in the chat right now. So hi to you guys. Yeah. Brian's like, I want to see it so bad. I really freaking loved it. But granted, man, I will say that I've read reviews, watched a couple reviews, and judging from my theater experience from people leaving the theater, um, people did not seem to dig it as much as I did. But I don't know. I thought it was really, really well done, all around, really good movie. I don't want to spoil again. I can't spoil this movie for anybody. I want you all to just go see it, and then we could talk about it. You know, you can message me to give me your thoughts. If you have seen it, comment down below. Tell me why I'm crazy, or tell me why you loved it as well. I would really appreciate that. And I'm if this is the beginning of 2020 for horror, I'm excited to see the rest of the year. And I know that there's been a lot of horror movies as of late that people did not like The Grudge and Gretel and Hansel and Fantasy Island and Brahms the Boy 2. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that's I hadn't even bothered with because I just thought it looked terrible personally. But I saw the trailer to this and I was like, yo, that looks like an old school slow burn horror film. And that's exactly what The Lodge is, man. It's a slow burn horror film in the not the wilderness, but the wilderness winterness place. I don't know, in this lodge. And man, I don't know. I just love the slow burn all the way to the end. And I just thought it was an absolute masterpiece of a film. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I love this movie. I cannot wait to buy it on Blu-ray and rewatch it. I know this movie is not going to be in the theaters much longer by me. I think by Wednesday it's going to be gone. So go out, go support this. This is not a remake. This is an original independent horror film done by two directors that I really like. And they've done a film I really like before, again, called Goodnight Mommy, that I really enjoyed that film. And I think this is a big step up for them. And I cannot wait to see what they're going to do next. And I don't know. I'm really excited. I'm excited to see what they do next. And I'm excited to see what's next for the genre. But yeah, that's going to be all for my review today. Again, right, like I said, spoiler free review. So there's not really much I could say other than what I liked about the film, what I thought worked about the film, and that's pretty much that. So that's going to be all for my review today. Only about 10 minutes, I know. Go support the Lodge, man. Please go support the Lodge, and like, comment, subscribe if you want to, all that stuff below. Thank you all for your time. I'm happy to have had you in the graveyard for only 10 minutes. But I am the Cemetery Man of Salem, Mass, always taking names and kicking candy ass. Too sweet, ladies and gents. I'll see y'all later. Peace. Long live the Lodge, by the way. Go see it. Go support it. Peace.